jokes or adult gags that can't be unseen and are almost guaranteed to have older viewers laughing, and wondering how they could have ever missed them the first time around. In some cases, you won't even believe these scenes are actually part of the movies we bring our kids to. Here's Screen Rant's look at Dirty Disney, 10 inappropriate scenes in Disney films. Toy Story 3. There are some adult jokes that go over kids' heads, and then there are the ones that are subtle enough to even be missed by parents. In Toy Story 3, the gang learns just how rude the villain Lotso really is when he pulls off the mouth of Mrs. Potato Head, just to shut her up. As they look on stunned, Mr. Potato Head lets Lotso know that only her husband is allowed to pull that trick.
Hey, no one takes my wife's mouth, except me!
Delivering a veiled sex joke in the process. Kids in the audience were probably too scared to notice their parents' eyes widening at that one. Hercules. Disney's version of the classical Greek hero took a different approach to designing mythical creatures, and the centaur stands out as a particularly odd one. Not only does the creature's entire head seem modeled after a part of the male anatomy, but when Hercules sends the beast skyward, he lands hard, resulting in a massive bruise swelling on the top of his head. If the suggestive shape of his skull passes any viewers by, his knobby brow and massive lump show that Disney's animators can still be as immature as their audience. Ratatouille. When Linguini is finally forced to admit it's his pet rat who's cooking award-winning food and not him, he lets his romantic interest Colette in on the secret. But when trying to explain the tiny little truth he's hiding, it's impossible to miss Colette's grimace and quick glance below Linguini's waist. It's a joke aimed squarely at older fans, and is subtle enough to sneak by without offending anyone. Bambi. That's right, even back in 1942, Disney was slipping some sly adult humor into family entertainment. Although Bambi is the star of the show, his good friend Flower the skunk is just as memorable. When Flower first runs into Bluebell, the pair share a kiss that renders him completely frozen. It's a cute and harmless joke, but once people realize a kiss made Flower flush with blood and grow as stiff as a board, it was obvious the animators were implying something that kids hopefully wouldn't ask any questions about. Cars. Pixar's automotive adventure begins with star Lightning McQueen at the top of his game as the most famous racer in America. So famous, he even has groupies, in the form of two shapely young sports cars. When viewers realize that their decision to show their high beams to the racer actually means that he's being flashed, dozens of camera flashes make a lot more sense, and guarantee you'll think twice about every other set of headlights you see in the rest of the movie. Surprisingly, that's not even the only adult joke made in the movie. A later scene shows a roadside restaurant called the Top Down Truck Stop. In case audience members didn't get the reference, the sign also advertises all convertible waitresses. That's right, a topless truck stop right under viewers' noses. Inside Out. Since this movie takes place inside the mind of a preteen girl, Inside Out is a fairly innocent story about leaving childhood behind as a family moves from Minnesota to San Francisco. But the writers couldn't resist making one tiny joke, given the city's famous history and the gay rights movement. When emotions run wild upon seeing the new house, Fear wonders if any deadly bears live in the city.
It's a bear? It's a bear!
There are no bears in San Francisco.
With Anger claiming to have seen one already.
I saw a really hairy guy. He looked like a bear.
The line is meaningless to kids, but adults will realize the term is typically used in the gay community to describe large, hairy men. Anger had no idea. Aladdin, King of Thieves. There are plenty of Disney